Hold my baby squid, keep them out of sight. Talking about my life, government stay away. Watch me drive, I'ma do it my own way. Squid in the ocean, swimming all alone. Ain't nobody telling me where to go. Living free, gotta stay true to myself. No need for interference from anyone else. Squid pro quo, that's the way to be. Living on my terms, setting myself free. Mama to my baby, protecting with my no government intrusion. I control my life.
Hey guys, it's me. I'm back. How is everybody doing today? We are going to take a couple of seconds to let everybody file in. Please hit that like button on your way in. I'm also going to look up the list because people were asking about it last time and I just forgot to share it. It is the Little's third birthday list. People were asking about it because I mentioned it yesterday. It is the same list that I have given all of family. So it is not like YouTube people specific. However, y'all have asked about it. So I don't do the Ohio and the Florida court for this one. It was too much to keep up with. It's too much drama, and it's just not my I got too many other cases that this is my my one that I'm not paying attention to these state cases. However, I did forget to mention in the last stream that the Billy Napier, Florida NIL case has moved to discovery, and there's been a motion to make discovery confidential based on the fact that these are colleges and universities and people of high profile that trade secrets and shit, I guess. I have the order. I was going to read it, but I can definitely read it another time. I'm thinking about doing a stream or a video just on NIL lawsuits because you have the Vanderbilt issue with their quarterback, Pavea, I think. He had sued the NCAA so he could play another year. You have Wisconsin, the University of Wisconsin suing the University of Miami. You have this NIL lawsuit. You have the House decision. It's the wild effing West. So I have to manage how I'm going to figure out how to do all those ones because football is my thing. I love football. I love college football, but I love where college football and the law meet. And with this whole NIL situation, it's I'm pretty sure if you go on there and check, it'll show you how. And if you can't figure it out, don't worry about it. You're awesome in itself. So I appreciate you. And if Greta is here today, thank you. I will be wrapping up the gifts she gets from YouTube separately. Yeah. With the Ohio stuff. Yeah, Ohio's pretty easy. You just figure out what county. I looked up some documents from Ohio one time and it was pretty easy. I'm college football, West Virginia. I will always root for Wisconsin just because that's my home state, but I am a Georgia fan through and through. I prefer the state that wins. Or, just saying. And I'm sorry, y'all. I am just closing some of these tabs I had open from the last stream because if y'all weren't here with me, I did a stream before this. I was doing case updates on some small stuff, on some cases that don't need to take their whole don't need to take up the whole and a whole stream by themselves. Oh, Tammy, then you will be interested to know that this started last year, but Jaden Rashada, a quarterback that went to Arizona, that went to Georgia for a year and now transferred somewhere, had sued Billy Napier over NIL stuff between Florida and Miami. So it's finally moving into discovery. I've been following it for a long time. It's also a federal case that is in the Northern District of Florida. So it was my second case. It was the first case that I was covering in Florida, in the Northern District of Florida. So Ohio can win versus everyone, but Michigan beat Michigan State. I mean, and we will do a stream where I will just set up a college football bitch and moan. I might set up my see if I can figure out how to set up the Google Voice for call-ins, and you can just bitch. I am not a sports analyst by any means, but I like to talk some college football. So the Crown is just it's a chat thing. It's a who's in a, oh no, none of that. Being from Wisconsin, I will time you out for that stuff, Patrick. Like, hey, poor Marine, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, Lynette, oops. I'm sorry, the name. I just have to take a second. Like, no matter what side of this case you're on, no matter how dramatic that you think this case is, and I think this case is stupid in what's going on outside of the court. Just you have the one-liners, the merch, the Muppet thing, just you got to admit that some of this shit is hilarious. When I posted my picture, my post-workout picture this morning, I titled it with "I died, but I didn't die." All right, so we are going to get into this. These documents, they're quick. They shouldn't take us too long. Gail, yes, lots of cool stuff on Amazon wishlist. 100% goes to Squid Family. Yes, and if you ever have a thing where you want to know where your money goes, because I understand, especially in this case, people want to contribute, but there's been the whole thing of like, where does my money go? You know where your money's going. And the third birthday list, all of that is for the little. That is all stuff that is the list we give to family members from out of town as well. So that is the stuff. That is all stuff. And the other list, the channel list, that is all stuff that I am eventually going to be buying for my house anyway. It's just if y'all want to contribute to the channel without giving your money to Google, because we know how much everybody loves Google because they take 30%. So those are other people's options for if they want to help. None of it's required. I love you guys for being here. However, those are my little grifty grifts, because everybody's got them. And I love the people that are on YouTube or that aren't YouTubers that are like, you're grifting. I have a YouTube channel that's monetized. This is how I make money for my family. So in a sense, we all do it. Some better than others, some more obvious than others, some more skillful. I am not skilled in it. I am awkward. I feel awkward, but it is, yeah. Malin, the Crown is just a thing that YouTube started. It's how active you are in that particular chat. It resets every time. It's just if you're number 1, number 2, number 3, you're the most active in that particular chat. So this rain in Florida so sucks. Brings out the giant spiders and flying giant roaches. Yeah, we got them palmetto bugs and they suck. Our bug guy's coming out Wednesday to respray it because of all the rain. So, all right. Um, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel called Grifty Myth Characters, and there's already a Grifty. So I and thank you to Rickles for sending me these documents. I went on the old Pacer just to check see if there were any more updates, and there was one. However, I do appreciate the screenshots, so I knew what I was looking at. And let me open them up. Yeah, you stupid. I love when you get those like, Geek Squad, here, send us money. No, thank you for letting me know here's your invoice of stuff you never bought. Fraud. There's one way you can tell a fraud email without, if you are getting an email from Geek Squad and you never bought anything from Best Buy that owns Geek Squad, delete that shit. That's the number one way to tell that you are being scammed. Is if you are getting an email about an invoice for something that you do not own. Just because we all know that people have been frauded out of things lately, and there's been questions about what is fraud and what is not, and how to tell, and all of that fun stuff. So that is just a way that you can tell quickly. All right, in the second case. So we're going to start with number 2, because that's where we left off yesterday. We are going to start with this. And this is, if the IRS wants payments in Amazon cards, it's probably not the IRS. If anybody wants anything in gift cards, like the Wisconsin getting an invoice for the Natty. Ha, you're funny. Luckily, I live in Georgia, and oh, shut up now. So I didn't win the Nigerian lottery. Probably not. Like, I am no expert, but if you get an email about tolls, or a text message about tolls, one, they don't send invoices in text message. They send those by email. I get them, or they send them to your address, because I've gotten them. Welcome to driving through Chicago and Kentucky, like on a regular basis. It's just one of the and that's the template. And that's the template that Bruce used. Yep. That you can tell this is Bruce's template, whether he actually wrote it or not. This is Bruce's template. However, I don't know what this is. So you see this? This is stuff that's not on my computer screen. This is actually on the document itself. I don't want to even begin to guess what that fluid is. Lynette did not write this. BBB did this. Yeah, even looking at the formatting, this is all BBB, because you can tell what a John and Lynette motion looks like, and we all know what it looks like. So it's yeah. All right. So remember we talked about yesterday that Randy filed a motion for default judgment because she had not responded. She was supposed to have responded by the 27th, 26th, 27th, something like that. So it's it looks like mac and cheese. That almost went over my head. Oh my goodness. Those would be roach trails. Gross. It's blood splatter from when she did. We're not even gonna. Nope. Remember when we were reading through some of those motions yesterday, especially Randy's response, and Randy's response to Lisa, and when it said, talked about businesses, and you just got to be careful what you say on the internet, in chats and all of that. Why is Judge mad at Randy? Judge is mad at everybody. Judge is mad at everybody. Judge is just mad at everybody. Yeah, LMNOP motion looks like grader making ransom note from macaroni, hand turkeys, and glitters cut out of magazines. Oh, which serial unaliver did that? We love documents and reading them. If you can help Squid, play for those Pacer documents, but giving if you can. Yes, and if you can't, I appreciate it. I only paid like $1 for today because somebody sent me some documents and the screenshot, so I know what I was looking at. But yeah. All right. Defendant Preston's motion to dismiss. Preston moves pursuant to FRCP 12B6. Say 12B6 one more damn time. To dismiss count 1 and count 8 for failure to state a claim. That's copied and pasted from other people's motions. Yeah, that I have it. This judge is a piece of work. The new motion is interesting. It's on Pacer. Yeah. He's just pissed. Like this judge just wants to be. If he could recuse himself, I bet he would. If he could find a logical reason, I don't think that he will because of the motion that John Cook was referring to. The motion to vacate. I think if the judge I think the judge wishes that motion would get approved. But just remember, this is not the judge. This is the judge. This is not normal for a case. This is not normal on any level. For a one plaintiff, two defendant case. This is not normal. The judge is pissed. The judge hates this, and I don't blame him. There's a reason that I only read the documents and I don't pay attention to any of the bullshit because I'm sick of this shit, and I'm only reading the documents. I can only imagine what the yeah. Hey you. Yeah, you over there behind the water heater in your great aunt's basement. Yeah, you hit the like button. Randy is only doing yes. However, there are certain motions that he has filed, and we have talked about on here. He has filed that are snarky, and I understand completely that you want to get snarky. Trust me, there are plenty of people on the internet that I wish I could just go tell F you because I don't like them. But there are some things that you just because you can say things doesn't mean you should say things. And there is a level of decorum that you have to maintain as a lawyer. Sometimes Randy in motions does a great job at it, and other times, not so much. However, the judge has done it too. He's gotten snarky in a few motions, so pot meat kettle on that one. But all right. Memorandum and support motion to dismiss. FRCP 12B6 requires dismissal when a complaint fails to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. And this is copied and pasted. Pursuant to FRCP 12B6, a party may move to dismiss a complaint for failure to state a claim on which relief can be granted. In determining whether to dismiss under Rule 12B6, a court accepts the factual allegations in the complaint as true and construes them in the light most favorable to the non-moving party. See United Tech Court v. Mazer, 11th Circuit, 2009. Nonetheless, the tenet that a court must accept as true all of the allegations contained in a complaint is inapplicable to legal conclusions. And the threadbare recital, I'm assuming she doesn't know what any of this means. The judge is probably on the verge of not wanting to be a judge anymore. Like, hey Freckled, how are you? Look at all salty today. I'm not salty. Oh, in the first stream, trigger warning. There's a case out of St. St. Lucie County, Florida. That's the exorcism mom case. Trigger warning. We have a Lord Chippy candidate. So yes, that's the thing. I agree with you, but I don't agree with you. And the reason I don't is I agree with what the judge said in the sense of he's expecting adults to act like adults. In one of his prior motions, he had said, expecting everybody to act professional and act like adults. Once he realized that people weren't going to act like adults, I agree he should have put his foot down and been more in control. But you also don't want to be the reputation for having that judge that is too strict on lawyers for no reason at all. Because you don't want to get a reputation as that judge. Just like generally, you don't want to get a reputation as a lawyer who files frivolous shit. But we're well beyond that one. So I agree with you in a way, but I don't agree with you. So, let's see. The threadbare recitals of the elements of a cause of a motion supported by mere conclusory statements do not suffice. Ashcroft v. Iqbal, everybody loves to cite that case, 2009. Furthermore, to survive a motion to dismiss, a complaint must contain sufficient factual matter, accepted as true, to state a claim to relief that is plausible on its face. And everybody's said the same thing. This is the only thing that they can come up with as a reason to dismiss. I understand everybody has to do their thing and file their motion to dismiss. But somebody brought up a good point yesterday. Do you notice the only people in this case who have lawyers are the lawyers? Everybody else is pro se. It's kind of interesting how that one works, huh? Everybody cites that there's no relief or a failure to state a claim. But Randy has said over and over and over and over and over again in his motions exactly what their claims are. And if it's not going to work for one, it's not going to work for the many because they're using the same argument. Nobody is coming up with a new argument because they're all copying and pasting each other's motions. They're waiting for one of the lawyers to put in their motions, seeing what they're using and copying and pasting it. A claim has factual plausibility when the plaintiff pleads factual content that allows the court to draw reasonable inference that the defendant is liable for the misconduct alleged. Generally, in deciding a motion to dismiss, the scope of the review must be limited to 4 corners of the complaint. St. George v. Pinellas County, 11th Circuit, 2002. The allegations do not establish any agreement between me and the other defendants to do any unlawful act. And you don't, then that's the thing that Randy said in his motion yesterday. You don't have to establish any agreement. You just have to be aware of what's going on and contribute. You don't have to agree on shit. At most, the defendants conspired to exercise their free speech, which is not actionable. How old is Sotomayor? Just a question. He is married with children. And from the sounds of it, a pretty happy marriage. If you've watched interviews with him, he sounds like a pretty good person. There's free speech. You can't hide behind free speech for everything. Free speech, free speech, free speech. Also, just because you can say stuff doesn't mean you should. Like I said, there's plenty of people on the internet who I want to go tell them to go fuck themselves, but I don't. Because of the fact that just because you can say stuff doesn't mean you should. Like, yeah, that's the thing. And I understand that judges are more lenient towards pro se defendants because they do not understand the law. However, they had a lawyer for a year and they let him go. So the fact that they're pro se in one of the cases is their own damn fault. Who's only 39? Me? Oh, wait. This is presented by, stamped at the, because they don't have access to Pacer because they're pro se. So. It's a healthy debate. It's a healthy debate. And that's the thing, to get along, we don't always have to agree. And I see where you're coming from. I just don't agree with part of it. You're perfectly entitled to your opinion. I ain't mad at you for that. All right. Therefore, the conspiracy claim in count 8 fails as a matter of law. No, I don't think it does, based on what Randy said. And like I said, not a lawyer. Don't even claim to be a paralegal. Maybe someday, but not today. But somebody won't get back to me on my email about whether they think that's a good idea or not. And the fact that not only is it late, but Randy gave an extra 3 days, I think, before he filed that motion for default judgment. And I am not yelling. Trust me, if you want to see where I am angry or what angry squid looks like, go to that Iranian woman or women's rights stream. That will be me being testy. If you want to see the difference between that and this, there's a stark difference. And hey, Kirby, this is just bullshit based on what Randy put in the case law and the way the case law described it. Because it's not the case law that he uses, because I could care less about that because I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what those cases are. But what he cites out of those cases is very easy to understand. It puts it in a very easy to understand and kind of layman's person's way. And what she says here doesn't make sense. Count 1 is based on my state TRO case, which was voluntarily dismissed without prejudice. Oh. Sorry, I'm just laughing at that statement because, I was granted a TRO, but my lawyer, attorney Josh Silverman, met with Hales and his lawyer Shockett in court on September 5th, 2024, and Silverman advised me to dismiss it. So much to say about that, but moving on. Oh, I want Squid to yell so I can fake rage quit and laugh about it. LRG, you heard Randy waited 48 hours. Yeah, he put in his motion the date that they were supposed to submit it by, and then the time frame, or when he submitted his motion, and it was 48, 72, something like that. It was plenty of time to go, oh, I messed up, crap, I forgot. Like, when you wake up late and you forgot to do something, you're like, crap, I need to send this out like today. Where if Lynette would have actually been on the ball, and even if she would have been late, it was been like, oh crap, I got to send this out today. Send an email to Shockett saying, hey, I forgot to submit it. I'm going to do it now. But given 2 to 3 days and you still didn't do it, it's like, joy. Yeah, and there's certain I agree with you, but there's certain judges ethics about research of what the judge can and can't look up um about a lawyer or a party in this case. So um it's a fine line the judge is walking. Trust me, it happens all the time. In the Karen Reed case, there was shit that the jury didn't know that the rest of us that were watching or had any idea of what was going on in the previous case, or had talked to Turtle Boy or watched Turtle Boy, watched DUI guys coverage, any of it, were like, oh my god, how did they not know this? How did they not? Because they just don't. There are plenty of things that the rest of the world sees that the judge is not allowed to, or the jury is not allowed to see. So there's like it happens every day in courtrooms all over the nation where judges and juries you'd think need and should have info that is they can't have. So it's it's a fine line with judges, the judicial ethics. And if you have ever looked through the judicial ethics, um, I have it on my computer. It is a long list of is a long list of stuff. Um, all right, and then he failed to obtain a release, which is why Hales is able to file count one. I can bring a TRO case again based on Hale's stalking of me, which the court had been made aware of in other cases with a lot of video links and screenshots. It is absurd that he can try to sue me for obtaining and then dismissing a TRO. That's not why he's suing you, sweetheart. Oh, bless your heart, princess. Bless your heart. Oh my God, bless your heart. Bless your heart. We're just gonna, yep. Whoop whoop. 2 live ads, coins for squid. Malin, you're amazing. Like, and because this is how I feed my family, this is why I don't, or I monetize my streams, and sometimes you'll get ads. So there was that. If you ever want to look up, so just remember that when you think about the judge's ethics, the judge not only has to abide by the Northern District of Florida rules, the Florida bar, but also judicial ethics. And there's a whole lot. There's the Florida Code of Judicial Conduct, which is here. And this is where I failed because I was going to do a video on this, and then life. Every time I want to do a video, life takes over, and then other topics and things get in the way. But this is all of their stuff. Use of non-public information, like it's just extrajudicial activities. Like it's there's so much that they have to do and have to follow. And so and that's kind of what we were talking about, Dose Reality and I, when we started talking about the parasocial relationships, and we started leading into cyber harassment, cyberbullying, and why the judicial system doesn't take online issues seriously. All of those judicial rules and the ethics codes that judges have to maintain is, in my opinion, one of the reasons that they don't take online issues seriously, because they don't have social media. Because social media can easily cross an ethics line when a party to a case pops up on a people you may know list. I had the prosecutor in a certain case out of Wisconsin that many of you know pop up on my Facebook. So like I can totally imagine that a lot of people don't have social media because it crosses ethics lines super easily. I used to have patients that would get discharged and try to friend request me on Facebook. Kind of creepy. Which is one of the reasons that I have a Facebook. I just don't use my Facebook very much because it's creepy. Yes, I am. So it's but it's one of those situations where a judge doesn't have social media, so he doesn't understand social media. Therefore, if you don't understand social media, it's very hard to make judgments based on social media. It's this conundrum of chicken and the egg. It's like credit. You can't build credit unless you have credit, but you don't have credit because you weren't given the opportunity. It's just a weird conundrum that is life. So it's a weird situation. So this is in federal 1. This is what people were talking about when they this is when people were saying that John got the judge vacated. Technically not yet. He was just inquiring about it. So request for status motion, document 123, which was the motion to vacate. Let me make sure I'm going into all the documents that I have to make sure that I'm telling you exactly what 123 is in the right context. 123 is motion to vacate. So just making sure I was right before. And hey, Marianne, just before I tell you what 123 is, I like to open up 123 and tell you give you accurate information. When can we look forward to hearing an answer on this motion? It has been sitting for approximately 3 months now. Thank you, John Cook. And this, you can tell, was written by John Cook because holy cannoli with the, like, dude, center this. Capitalize your middle and your last name. Capitalize the et al, or at least the E. Capitalize the first letter in your last name. Anything under 10, anything 0 through 9 should be written out. Like, I just, yeah. So, it's just me being my normal grammar Yahtzee. So, there's this one. Hey, your mom. And then that is what the judge is responding to. So we are going to open up. Let's see if I already have it open. Let's close this down. Having so many windows, I have to make sure that I close stuff down so that I don't confuse myself. Which, when you just have so many things open and 2 monitors, and you have tabs in both monitors. Yes, we have 356 people and only 138 likes. Can we get a couple more likes? And Patrick, thank you for the $10 super chat. Bias the jury and JH loses. How 500 signs made by the ecosystem and placed around Gainesville saying no Ohioans suing Levy County. Yankee hate is real, not as blatant today, but still there. Well, hello. Yeah, this is all crazy. Totally crazy. Oh, And Nancy, thank you for the $5 Venmo. I appreciate it. I just gotta. I just sent somebody a post-workout picture because they said you survived. I was like, barely. Alrighty. We're up to 175 likes. Can we get like 200? And maybe don't break. I've hit the like button 10 times, but the number doesn't seem to be going up. Also, I punched it really hard the last time and its screen is cracked. Well, you know, let me do something in my studio before we open up the last document. We got 186. There we go. I forgot to turn on subscriber only mode. We are on our way to 4K. Maybe we'll make it there someday. Yes, when you donate through Squid's Venmo, she gets 100%. Minus what I have to report on taxes, but that's not till next year. So, alrighty. Let's open up this last document, which is what everybody is here to see. It's Judge Belatho being snarky. Everybody hit the like button or no birthday party for baby Squid. Yes, it is her birthday month. We are celebrating all month. All month. Now you know I was subbed, hoping to subscribe. My sub count keeps doing this like up by 10, up by 10, down by 5, up by 5, down by 10. Just all right. And thank you. How are you doing today? Better yet, they do this and they realize the venue changes to Pensacola. All right. Order. 2 motions are currently before the court. The first is plaintiff's motions for sanctions, including judicial default. Defendants have opposed this motion. The second is motion to dismiss under FRCP 41B and for sanctions. Plaintiff has opposed this motion. Both motions show different sides of the same ugly coin of unprofessionalism by counsel that has plagued this case. It is clear that the attorneys in this case have disregarded the court's prior order to behave in a professional manner. But the court does not believe the drastic remedy of dismissal or the entry of a default judgment is warranted. The court has recently imposed sanctions against plaintiff's counsel for misconduct in this case, and the court will be separately addressing the issue of sanctions as to defendant's former counsel for misconduct in this case. So remember, yes, he denied documents 116 and 117 or 96 and 117. But the court will be separately addressing the issue of sanctions as to defendant's former counsel for misconduct. So no, as of now, the judge has not been vacated. When people were saying that, I heard a couple people saying that John Cook got the judge vacated. No, he was just inquiring about that, which honestly, like, playing devil's advocate, you know that y'all were curious about that shit too. So even though it's John Cook who filed the motion, and yes, we are big fans of John Cook. However, y'all know you were just as curious about that as he was. It's one of them things of like, so we will go look at what plaintiff's motion for sanctions, including judicial default, was document 96. So 96 was denied. So Jeremy was denied once. And the defendant's motion to dismiss under FRCP 41B and for sanctions has also been denied. So this motion is the judge denying one motion or one document from Jeremy and one document from Bubbles. So this is not the judge denying Jeremy on everything. This is not the judge denying Bubbles on everything. So this is everybody sucks. This is the judge saying, I hate all of this shit and I hate all of you. Yes, the question of vacating the magistrate needs answered before BPP discipline is complete. And I believe the judge is conferring with other people. Remember how I said monetary sanctions are easy? Monetary sanctions are easy. I felt like these documents were not necessary. $2,000 a document. Here you go. There's a check for $4,000. We're good. You know, it's like getting a speeding ticket. You pay your fine, you're good. Like, no hard feelings. Go about your business. But sanctions, when you fucked up, is to not show up and you've pissed the judge off this bad, but you also have the one thing Bruce was very, 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 very good at is he made everything, he muddied the waters. He made everything from a clear-cut one party or one plaintiff, two defendants, to one plaintiff, two defendants in this case, who are now pro se, one plaintiff, 8 defendants ish in the other one. He has muddied the waters. So now he's a party in the other case. So with the judge on that case as well. So with the judge being on both cases and now having to deal with him as a lawyer and sanctions in one case and as a party in another case, there's a very fine line. But calling Randy unprofessional for filing default, he set times for them to reply. He's calling Randy unprofessional for the documents that were already sanctioned him for. So basically, he's not calling Randy unprofessional for what's happened in the last like 3 weeks ish, whenever the stay was up, a month, whenever. He's calling Randy unprofessional, in my opinion, based on what I'm reading here. He's calling Randy unprofessional for the what he was unprofessional for in the past, because technically Randy will always be known as unprofessional in the judge's eyes for those actions in the past. You can't change the past. So once labeled unprofessional in the past on documents, whatever documents he was sanctioned for, the judge will always call those unprofessional actions. You're not going to change it just because he was sanctioned. It's not going to go, oh, now you're known as professional. When you get a speeding ticket, no, you're always going to be known as a speeder at that point in your life because you got a speeding ticket. You will always be known by the judge at that particular moment in time as unprofessional. But in this one, that unprofessionalism by counsel, he's referring back to those 2 motions. He's not calling Randy unprofessional for now. But also, there is a way to respond without being... there's a way to respond without so many words, without some of the snark. And y'all know that you ate it up when Randy was snarky, because y'all ate it up. I even ate it up when the judge was snarky. We love the drama. We love the snark. But in a time and place, a court order or a motion in front of a judge, especially a federal judge, is not the time and the place. It's just one of those, like, just because you can say stuff doesn't mean you should. Hey, Bonnie. I'm a pure believer in there is a bunch of stuff that you may want to say, but just because you want to say it doesn't mean you should. It's a thing. Hey, Freckle Ginger, thanks for the $2. I was sub 132 14 months ago. Look at her now. Yeah, I don't know what the hell. Like, I don't know. And Flash Fan, I know he's busy and he's got a Discord stream coming up here in a little bit. But he, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Katie Buck, I've always told Squid her channel would grow faster than she thought. But I've been at like 39.50, between 39.50 and 39.70 for like 6 months. Like every time does Judge Belaytho's chief judge have to be involved for sanctions on BBB? I don't believe he has to be involved. I believe Judge Belaytho wants him involved. Because Judge Belaytho knows that BBB is kind of a shitty person. He's kind of made it obvious. But also by calling both parties unprofessional, the judge is not showing bias towards one party. So you also have to look at it that way. Randy or Bubbles can't go, well, he's picking on me. No, because Randy can be like, he called me unprofessional too, so stop bitching. So it's one of those like use your pick your words carefully kind of thing. It's just, I believe that because of how muddied this case is and the fact that Bruce is a party in the second case, I believe he wants. I don't necessarily know. That would be a question for the expert. I don't necessarily know if he has to be involved, but I believe that he wants his boss involved because I know I would. I'd be like, can you help me handle this? So if this lawyer decides to bitch again and try to vacate in the other case, that I have your backing on this was a mutual decision or this was handled by you and not me. So that way it's kind of covering the judge's ass. And I'm all about covering your ass. You know what I mean? Like, Janice, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Greetings. Glad I caught a live. I'm glad you're here. So the judge needs to stop bringing up Randy being unprofessional before he ruled on sanctions. Now it's time to move on and keep this to the time frames. I understand where you're coming from. I really do. But just think of how Bruce is a pick-me girl. Where he's me. It's all about me. And if the judge singles out Bruce could use that against the judge. It's like when you're in class, and when one person messes up, the judge or your teacher or your professor addresses the class as a whole as to not single out one person. I believe, in my opinion, that's what the judge is doing now, because he knows that if he singles out Bruce is going to use that as a reason to have the judge removed, and the judge is covering his ass. Yeah, and this right here. Hi all, BBB has to be in front of him to issue sanctions, and there is that too. I believe that's a bar association rule, and I think that's a Northern District of Florida thing too. I can't remember where I read that, but I did read that. When it's all starting to be like, it's all starting to melt together. So I completely agree with you on the timeline. The judge just needs to stop, like, stick to the time frames and like, I told you here, I don't care if you're pro se, I told you here, this is the timeline. We've known about this for months now. Here's the timeline. However, I believe the judge is not singling out Bruce as the problem child because of the fact that if Bruce gets singled out, Bruce is going to use that against the judge. If you've ever had a family member, a friend, or you've ever been in class with someone who just causes drama for no reason, you know that everybody gets talked to. Like everybody's the problem, even though we all know it's one person. Everybody gets in trouble equally, so that person can't go like, Mom, you know how this works. Your boss does that shit all the time to you guys. Yells at all of you when one person is obviously the issue. So it's a thing. Well, I guess we'll have to do something about that, won't we? What will we have to? Yeah, the expert can make me dizzy. Hey, Bad Duck, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. I hate the drama and the snark. Thank you for the $5 super chat, by the way. They're all a bunch of twats. This is a clear-cut case, and only Jeremy hurts himself by continuing. Yeah, and that's my thing, too, is I know from someone who has someone who tries to get under their skin all the time, and the fleas literally said it on their stream about specifically about the deposition, that they were trying to get under Jeremy's skin. The more he talks about it, the more ammunition that they give him, or that he gives them to get under his skin. So I completely, I agree with that. Not that Jeremy doesn't have the right to talk about whatever Jeremy wants to freaking talk about on his channel. I do not, y'all, I don't tell anybody what they can and can't talk about. I don't tell anybody who they can and cannot watch. Like, I don't. Everybody knows in here, there are some people who frequent the Fleas stream, or at least they used to. I don't, yeah, Judge is like a teacher keeping the whole class after school because one pupil was tardy. Yeah, but that one pupil could file a complaint against the judge. And just because a complaint doesn't go anywhere, so say I filed a bar complaint against somebody, just because it doesn't go anywhere, it's still on record that was filed. So it's in a judge that's trying to, because Judge Belaytho is young. As far as judges go, Judge Belaytho is young. I think he's in his early to mid 40s. He is not much older than me, and that says a lot about where we are in our life. But he's obviously trying to move up. Judges remind me of officers. Once they get a commission, they try to move up. Once they get to a certain rank, they want to go higher. They want to go higher. They want that feeling of being, So it's hard to, when you get something filed against you, it stays that it was filed, even though no action was taken. Say the Leslie situation. Like, even though no disciplinary action was taken against her, everybody and their damn uncle has gone and looked for the documents and has easily found the documents. So that sticks with you. So the judge, I believe, is trying to make sure he does everything. He knows that he probably should have acted sooner. He's already said that in motions. However, he's now going by the book to not only cover his ass and make sure that Bruce doesn't cause drama in the second case, but also he's trying to eventually move up into a different position and a different court system. And every judge wants to move up. Everybody wants to move up in their career. But if you have disciplinary action against you, the likelihood of you getting appointed to a different and a higher level position, not likely. So think about the big picture. So think about the big picture. Not so much the narrow, the one-track mind of just this case. And also you have to think that this is not the judge's only case. I did not go over it, but a certain retired lawyer's husband had a case, or has a case. I still have to do some research on it, but Pacer's expensive, under Judge Belaytho. So, yeah. Nice. You F up and your whole platoon plays the price. What a good way to keep friends. Yep. It's like basic. You screw up and everybody gets in trouble. And then everybody comes for you late at night. So, and hey, Macy. Yeah. the judge said 7 days. It's all right. You can have another 14. It's another, yeah. And that's the part that I can't stand. That's the part where I wish he would, that's the part where I wish he would just put his foot down and be like, I've given y'all enough chances. I can't do it anymore. So, oh, hey, Captain Karen. And still no discovery. Yeah, and that is where I wish the judge would just be like, now's the time where Randy should put in a default judgment in the first case and be like, no discovery. After all this time, no discovery. After all these deadlines, no discovery. After motions to compel, 2 different motions to compel. Still no. Still no. Like, I just can't, it's still hard to fathom that after all of this, the judge has not put his foot down. And that is my frustration with this judge. So, like, who thinks Randy should file for the magistrate to vacate now? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But it's just, it's a hard thing as a judge to be, like, not, like I said, not a lawyer, not a judge. Yes. That right there, Judge B has to be careful with BBB being a defendant in Fed 2. Can't make it look like he's playing favorites because of all the crap that BBB did in Fed 1. And you know that Bubble Brain's lawyer would love to use that as a reason to... Remember, Bruce's lawyer sued Facebook. Cameron Atkinson sued Facebook. So that dude is not unfamiliar with stupid cases and suing above his weight class. It's like when you're a 5 and you're trying to ask out a dude or a girl that's a 10. It's like, it's never going to happen. It's never going to work out, but you're going to shoot your shot anyway. So I don't know where that reference just came from, but I've been watching too much of somebody's streams late at night. So, but anyway, guys, I have to get going. I have to go to work tonight. And the little just came in. You want to say hi? Okay, we're going to say goodbye. Ready?
Yeah.
You want to say goodbye?
Bye.
All right, guys. I will see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
We will be streaming tomorrow. What are we talking about tomorrow?
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna be talking some aviation stuff. That's fun.
See you. Bye.
Bye, guys.